Guys, you know, one of the most proud things I have about being on this YouTube channel for you, the thing that makes me the most proud is the fact that I can influence you to basically look at new stocks. And I do get comments all the time from people saying, you've shown me a new stock. I think it is my job to basically inform you as to stocks which are growing quite rapidly. And you know what? Hyrecar is one of those. If we have a quick look at the past month or so, we have seen about a 90% growth in the shares price. That's amazing to see. And honestly, there's not many people at all talking about this on YouTube. So yeah, if you do like the sound of that, please do like and subscribe to the channel. We're trying to get to 1,000 as soon as possible. I've already said we've just blasted past 800. We're on 804. So if we could just get to 1,000 as soon as possible, it would be appreciated. On top of that, if you could just help us by coming and joining our Discord, come and talk to us about stocks. We've got like 60 or plus members now. We're almost at 100 members on there as well. Really friendly place to be. Come and join us. Massively appreciate it. So let's check how many subscribers we actually are on just before we begin the video, and then we will start. So I think that we are on 804. I think this is lagging a little bit behind. Let's have a quick look if it will update in time. If it's going to take a long time, I will not wait for it. So yeah, 804, not bad at all. Thank you for that. But we're going to have a quick look at the pattern for the stock. We're going to have a look at the finances, and then we're going to have a look at what the analysts say, finishing up with what I say at the end. So let's have a quick look to the 1 day period. If we look on the 1 day according to Google, now don't get me wrong, we will double check this with Yahoo Finance because Google have been wrong, but this one does look to be trending quite, variably. It looks to be dipping and peaking quite a lot. We've seen lows in the day of about $6.13. We've seen highs of $6.36. If we can look at that as a percentage, I'm not sure if Google will let us. I think that's about a 1 to 2% increase. I think that may be incorrect though. It might be more like a 3% increase though. But honestly, from the long-term period, the stock is not doing bad. What can we interpret from the short-term period? It's basically very shaky, it's very volatile. It has been doing a lot of ups and downs, perhaps not the kind of thing you want to hold like a CFD on or something that's risky like that, because you could probably get stopped out on this one quite easily in the short term. Obviously, once it does grow, it would probably not have that much of an effect. And when we do look at so 1 month, actually, we are pretty much trending straight upwards. We can draw almost a straight line through this. We have had only 1 or 2 days, perhaps 3 of dips, so not too bad at all to see on the 1 month. Going out to 6, however, we can really put this growth into perspective. I think that would be about a 85% in a month, like I said, not bad at all. And when we look out to the longer period, it has not been too highly valued. Previously at about $2, only in the 1st of June. So, earlier this year, the stock was only at $2.28. So obviously we have gained quite a lot in that period. So we're going to talk about the company now. What does it actually do? We're going to go to money.cnn for this. That's CNN Business. If we have a quick look, the company's description is Hyrecar engages an operation of peer-to-peer car sharing in their marketplace. I know that I did not read that correctly because anyway, but basically what that means is that the company basically redistributes cars to other people. It's like peer-to-peer. So I have a car, you want to borrow my car, we go through this Hyrecar app, you can hire my car, it's pretty straightforward as it sounds, and you can just rent my car out. It's pretty simple and it's pretty cool. We can all see the benefits of this one and why this could potentially be a growing market sector. I'm just going to run you through a few of them off the top of my head right now. Obviously, one of them is the fact you don't have to buy the car. Second one is you could just be visiting a place for a day or two, and instead of driving your own car, you can get the train perhaps a lot quicker, or even an aeroplane. Just go there, hire out somebody else's car, problem solved, very easy thing to do. So you can see the benefits that this company could potentially have in the future. So if we look to the shareholders of the stock, we can see mutual fund holders take up 4%, other institutional investors, and we have just had a new member in the Discord, but other institutions do make up 31% and individuals make up 20.59% exactly. So obviously, looking at that, we can see that the majority of this graph is held by other institutions. So, other is basically the largest sector according to this graph. Let's have a quick look now at some forecasts and we'll go on to the financials in just a moment. So we can see that we have 4 analysts which are offering a 12-month review for this company. They have a median of 7, a high of 8 and a low of 635. The median represented a 10% increase in revenue. So let's have a quick look at this. And when I said revenue, I meant share price. But if we have a quick look, they are basically saying that the highest is going to see a 25% increase. On my personal opinion, I would say this is wrong, but I can see where they are coming from. But I think it's important to note what we have had this year. I definitely think that with what we have had throughout the whole year, this company will have probably taken a dip subsequently. I think their future, or at least their short-term future, maybe the next 6 months to a year, is probably looking a bit dimmer, unfortunately, due to that. But looking for the long term, I can definitely see this one being a winner, because it's just one of those ones where they are doing quite well at the minute. And if they can establish their name in the sector, and as we all know, if you have used one of these apps before, if you have looked at using one of these apps before, I have used one of them before, I can tell you the fact that they are very simple to use and it's just very convenient. If you can work on making the customer experience a lot more convenient, and I'm not saying that it's not here, it probably is very convenient, you can potentially have a great business because people will go to you just for the simplicity factor. So yeah, I think it's definitely going to do better than a 25% increase if we do get back to normal in the next year or so. Obviously, if we don't, then I think they are probably looking at a fairly accurate representation if we don't have any other factors come into this, because we can actually have other factors come into this. Obviously, positive earnings could influence this. Unfortunately, we haven't had positive earnings for the last 4 quarters. Let's see what quarter 4 of 2020 does bring us. However, we have had positive revenue figures for the last period actually, so don't get me incorrect with that. I was just looking at the EPS. In fact, yeah, we've had positive revenue figures for the whole last 2 quarters. So obviously revenue is doing well, but the surprise for the EPS is actually lower than expected. Not necessarily a bad thing, as the company might be taking out loans, etc, etc. Obviously with earnings per share at -7 cents, it's not necessarily a bad thing. I think one of the main things which will bring this positive, attract a lot more people into the company, is definitely bringing this positive. I can see it going positive perhaps quarter 1 or 2 of 2021. Hopefully, if we don't have any, spikes in the infection rate and whatnot. But if it carries on being quite pleasant potentially, and decreasing, and the company can operate to its full potential again, this could definitely be an undervalued pick right now. Obviously, earnings will be positive, or earnings, if positive rather, will have a positive impact subsequently on the share price, so we'll have to look to getting those up in the next few quarters. Let's have a quick look on Yahoo Finance at our financial figures for this year if we can. So yeah, obviously this is shorthand, but we're going to have a look at revenue figures and whatnot for the year. For this year, they are actually higher than in 2019 and 18, which is surprising, to be honest, being as this sector has kind of failed a little bit, in the sense that people just have not been moving. But unfortunately, fortunately rather, it has been significantly more positive than in previous years. Look at the cost for that is 433, which is not too much steeper than the previous year when it was 9,843. So obviously when we look at that and what that actually means, it means that they have managed to make more money and spend less money doing so. Good thing to see, obviously. And the gross profit figure was actually higher, only slightly though, than in 2019. And it's important to note that quarter 4 results aren't out yet. When quarter 4 results are out, then we will call this a conclusion to the year. But so far we are still positive. If we can bring this up to the 7 figures, in the 7 range, 7,100s, around that range, I would say that would be a decent growth year on year to have seen. Obviously, from 2018 to 2019, we saw a 2,000 increase, which is obviously huge, but I think it is fair to consider everything that has happened this year when we look at the decrease in price for this year. So obviously, it's still positive, but it's not as positive as in the past 2 years or so. Other expenses appear to also be lower, which is a good thing to see. So generally speaking, they're wasting less, which is a good thing to see as well. So yeah, can we see this one continue into the future with this this extreme growth which we have seen, I would say it's definitely possible, but perhaps not like 100% in a month as people are looking at. Maybe like 10 to 20% in a month would be a comfortable range for this one until it levels out at a new price. Of course, we will keep you updated until we do get to that new price, but I hope you did enjoy the video. If you did, please do leave a like and subscribe. I will see you in the next one. Thank you for your time. Goodbye for now.